Welcome to Dark Truths. Religion Uncovered, a space where ancient reverence meets modern confidence, revealing a truth few are willing to confront. Tonight, we're examining a subtle yet monumental shift that has reshaped belief more than any doctrine. The moment being wrong went from a natural part of faith to an unacceptable failure. In the ancient world, faith was deeply intertwined with an understanding of human fallibility. People accepted that misunderstanding the divine was a natural part of the journey. The scriptures are filled with stories of correction and reversal. Think of Abraham, for instance, grappling with God's promise, or Moses being rebuked for misrepresenting God. Nathan, who corrected King David. How about when Peter denied Jesus, and Paul admitted he once persecuted the very truth he later proclaimed? In this context, being wrong wasn't a spiritual failure. It was a pathway to growth. God didn't demand a flawless theology, but a willingness to listen and learn. But as we look at the modern landscape of beliefs, a stark contrast emerges. Today, being wrong is often seen as a disaster. Doctrinal error became an identity threat, and admitting a mistake feels like a betrayal. Humility has been replaced by defensiveness, and certainty has become impenetrable armor. This changes everything. When being wrong is unacceptable, belief becomes a monologue, not a dialogue. The scriptures, once read for their profound challenges, are now often used for confirmation. Theology turns into a fortress for self-protection, not a journey toward truth's complexities. Ancient theology anticipated missteps, because God was never seen as simple or easy to understand. Revelation was an unfolding process, full of nuance, often spanning for centuries. God gave humanity the grace of misunderstanding. How else would correction happen without time to grow? He allowed Israel to believe that kingship was his will, before revealing its true costs. He let prophets share partial truths, gradually bringing them closer to a fuller picture. He even let his disciples misinterpret the Messiah before redefining salvation itself. In contrast, modern belief often resists this process. There's immense pressure to have immediate answers, to be publicly correct, and to defend positions with fervor. But this pressure breeds rigidity, not an authentic faith. A belief system that can't admit error can't never mature. The ancient faith thrived because it welcomed correction. Modern beliefs often stagnates, paralyzed by a fear of being wrong. At the heart of ancient theology is deep humility. The scriptures asks, who can understand the ways of God? This question shows that true wisdom starts with recognizing our limits. In modern beliefs, this is often reversed. Confidence is mistaken for faithfulness, and admitting uncertainty looks like weakness. But the God of Scripture never demanded absolute certainty. He sought obedience amidst uncertainty. This distinction is monumental. True faith isn't about being right. It's about trusting God even when you might be wrong. Modern belief often puts certainty first and trust second. Ancient belief shows that trust comes first, with the understanding that learning will follow. This is why ancient theology could evolve without collapsing, and why new revelations enriched faith instead of destroying it. Modern belief is more fragile because it rests on an illusion of finality. God never revealed himself all at once. He unveiled his nature relationally, incrementally, and with immense patience, giving us room to misinterpret, argue, revise, and grow. He wasn't afraid of being misunderstood. He corrected only when necessary. The modern believer often fears correction more than living with error. But it's through this correction that our understandings of truth sharpens. Without it, belief becomes brittle, silencing dissent and punishing questions to defend its certainty. Ancient theology embraced diversity of thought, preserving disagreements without needing immediate resolution. This left room for humility and different journeys toward understanding. Tonight, we are faced with a fundamental truth. A faith that cannot entertain the possibility of being wrong has stopped seeking God and started protecting itself. Humility isn't a lack of conviction. It's the willingness to be corrected by the divine. A God who gives his followers the grace to be wrong isn't weak. He is patient and understanding. As we conclude, we leave you with a question from ancient theology. If you are never permitted to be wrong, how can you ever be transformed by truth? Thank you for joining us on Dark Truths, Religion Uncovered. Share your thoughts below. Does authentic faith require certainty, or the humility to be corrected by a God who eludes simplification? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the heart of belief.